Hey guys, so I know it's been a while since my last video. In fact, it's actually been quite a long while. I have been busy, I've been doing quite a lot of things, which I will probably talk about in my upcoming videos. So, anyhow, with the new year and with a lot of new tech which has come out last year, in this video, I wanted to talk about which phone to start 2018 with. So, a few of you who have been watching my videos, my previous videos, you must be knowing that I have been using the LG G5 as my main driver, and I have been satisfied the whole time when I actually use this phone. It is pretty decent, it has worked very well. It was LG's flagship device in 2016 and it has done a pretty good job till date, but it has gotten older. I have been using this for about 10, let's see, I bought this phone in the end of May of 2016, early June or end of May 2016. So that's about a year and a half of how long I've actually used this phone, and it has gotten a little older. It has gotten a little slow. It's lagging a little bit. So, and with a lot of new technology which has come out, I was looking to start off the new year with a new phone. And so, coming to a new year, I do have a few options. I shortlisted a few things, a few phones which I think were pretty good flagships which had come out in 2017. So let's take a look at that, and two things which I'm really considering while thinking of upgrading to a new phone. Number one is of course the cost, which is going to make a big difference, because there are a lot of phones in this which cost quite high, but uh, they pretty much offer just the same features and a little better features than some phones which cost much lesser. So cost, of course, a big thing. And number two is the timing. And I know what a lot of you must be thinking, that at the start of the year, it's probably a terrible time to go for a new phone or to upgrade to a new phone, and you probably are right. It kind of is a bad time to upgrade to a new phone, because if you actually wait for a couple more months in March, around March, April, May, that is when a lot of companies come out with their latest flagships, latest generations of the new flagships like Samsung, LG, Sony. So if I actually wait for a couple more months, I can actually get the next generation flagship device for just about 5 to 10,000 more than what these are priced at the moment, because the price of the flagships from 2017 are still pretty high. So just about 5 to 10,000 more, I can get the next flagship device. Second thing, so when the new flagships come out, not only will the price of that be high, of course, the price of the previous generation phones, like the ones which I'm going to look at now, is going to come down quite a bit. So that would be a great time to buy these phones which I'm looking at now. So if I actually wait for a couple more months, actually it does make more sense. So because I can either choose between the next generation smartphones which I can get for a little more price, I think a little more cost of these phones, and or I can actually go for these phones which I'm looking at now, which I will get for a really good price. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to go for the new upgrade right away. I might wait for a couple months. I don't know, let's see. But here are the options which I am considering. So I have shortlisted about 5 or 6 different flagships from last year which did really well last year. Like a couple of them from Samsung, which are Samsung Galaxy S8, S8 Plus, and the Galaxy Note 8. Both of them which have done remarkably well last year. With the nearly bezel-less screen, I think Samsung phones have gotten really pretty, and we can see that in both the S8, S8 Plus, and the Note 8. All of them have the nearly bezel-less screen, the infinity display as Samsung calls them. So both of them are really good, it looks really great, and they actually have really good features and all, which actually does come prerequisite with the Samsung flagships. So both of them are of course in the options which I'm considering. There's one from LG, the LG V30. I'm not counting the LG G6, which frankly I feel is a little outdated till now, even the processor is older one. So I'm actually considering the LG V30 or the V30 Plus, which is actually pretty good. Although I'm not too happy with the LG software. I have been using LG phone for a couple of years now, and not too happy with the LG software, but the LG V30 has got really good features, so that is something I am going to consider now. Another phone is of course, this has to be in the list, is the Apple iPhone 10, or the iPhone X as people like to call it. So the main deterrent here is the price, because it costs over a lakh. uh, the 256 GB model, which I wanted, costs over a lakh in India. So I know it is a little heavy on the wallet, but that is something which is there in my options, which I am considering. Again, I might not go for it because it is slightly more expensive. And there is the iPhone 8, but with the iPhone 10, I'm not too inclined towards the iPhone 8. So that is still there, but I don't think I'm going to go for the iPhone 8. So I'm probably just rolling it off right away. But I'm still going to go through it if any of you would like to, go for the iPhone 8. So I will talk about the iPhone 8 as well later. So the iPhone 8 and iPhone 10. So these two phones, and finally, and this is my number one priority, which is the Google Pixel 2 XL. So this is a phone which I am really inclined towards. This is something I think I probably will go to. Only thing holding me back is the price factor, and if I get a good deal on it, I probably will go for it. But still, I'm still considering other options, like all these other options which I'm saying looking at what I'm talking about right now. So the main thing here is the Google Pixel 2 XL. I think is ideally the best Android flagship which had come out the previous year. I know it is quite debatable because the Note 8 did pretty well, the Samsung Galaxy S8. So it is pretty close, but in the sense of software, I really like the stock Android kind of feel. I really like that kind of thing on my phone, because I have been using the LG software, and it's okay, but it's not that great. I'm not too happy with it. I have used Samsung phones earlier, a lot of Samsung phones earlier, and I'm not happy with the Samsung software as well. It's okay, it's probably better than the LG software, but both of these have a lot of bloatware in them. So I've never actually used a stock Android feel, but whenever I've actually held a stock Android phone, it just feels so good. So I'm really looking for a stock Androidish kind of feel. So I am heavily inclined towards the Google Pixel 2 XL. Of course, I'm not considering the Pixel 2 because it's too small for me. I have really big hands, so I'm not going to really consider Pixel 2. It only has a 5-inch screen, but those of you who have smaller hands, like I have freakishly huge hands, so if any of you have smaller hands or prefer smaller phones, I would say, and if you want Android, I would say go for the Pixel 2. This is hands down the best phone out there for the price you're getting. The Pixel 2 XL is of course about 20 to 30,000 more, especially the 128 GB model which I wanted is about 20 or 30,000 more than the Pixel 2. So I'm not going for it right away, but if you are looking for a phone, a really good phone with a small really good phone, then please go for that. Leave Samsung, LG, all that. Pixel 2 is really good, and it has a great rate as well. It comes at a good deal, so go for the Pixel 2. Anyhow, so these are the phones that I'm considering. I'll probably put them up on the screen, comparing the different specifications of among these phones. So let's have a look at that. Before that, another thing about the Pixel 2 XL, why I'm inclined towards that is the camera, of course. And I am really glad that the LG G5 actually has a pretty good camera, or cameras I should say, to say plural. It has two cameras in the back, dual cameras, and both of them are really good. I've taken incredible pictures with the camera on this phone. So I am someone who looks for a really good camera in a phone, and the Pixel 2 XL is said to have the best camera, though honestly I have not used the Pixel 2 XL, but it's said to have the best camera on a smartphone which has come out till date, and I have seen a lot of pictures, so I can tell that it does have a really good camera. So anyway, coming back to the specifications, let's put all of them together and compare all of the, see right now I think the hardware and all of them is pretty much the same. Samsung, the LG V30, the Pixel XL. Of course, Apple has different specifications, but we will still compare them in the same thing, but they have slightly different hardware or different terminology. Which hardware is pretty much the same, the different terminology that Apple uses. Okay, I almost forgot another phone which I am including in the list is a trump card entry, and I'm just putting it there in here because of the if its price factor, and that is the OnePlus 5T. And if you have watched my OnePlus 3T review video, you can tell that I am not really a OnePlus user. I know it's a great phone. I have nothing bad to say about it, but I just don't feel at home with OnePlus. But OnePlus 5T actually is a pretty good device, and for its price factor, I am including that into the list as well. So that is something I am legit, no, honestly considering, but I might not go for it, but I am still considering that.